G'day everyone, just a quick wobbly video. I've been working on I've been working on a few different things at once. I've already recorded some video footage this morning for a video that may or may not be suitable to put up, mainly because of the camera work might not be up to it. But over the back, there's a couple of Wargames Atlantic guys that I've been sort of trying to demo, like painting them. But it is very difficult keeping them in focus and painting around the video camera. But also, I've been painting up, I've got a batch of Huns to do. I've got a heap of Huns, and there's at least this many again. So 99.9% of them are on horses. So putting into action my advice that I give people about this book. I know I recommended it to Darren and other people. There's painting wargame figures that I do myself actually use it, not exclusively for horse stuff, because I do some of my own made up stuff, and I've got something scribbled up the top there that I've written with some color things for horse colors. But I do try different things, but I often come back to this to get me started. So what I've been doing is following the sort of formulas there. Let me see. That was my other hand. Here we are. So we've got the first couple. These two start with a mahogany and black mix, and then these next two start with a whole red and black mix, and then there's a bunch of others. So basically, I mean, that's the kind of idea you get. So you've got your basic light chestnut, so mahogany, brown and black, and then mix into that, and then mix a bit more mahogany into that, and then take that mix and put a bit of tan yellow. Now the trick with it is that that's quite difficult to do unless you can keep your paint open, as they say, or damp, or you're just working on one horse, and you can go, you can work fast enough. Because what will happen is once you block that in, and if you're doing an assembly line of horses, you might move on to the next colour, and then your base thing's dry, and then you have to get back to the base and then do the add-on and add-on and add-on, that sort of stuff. So that's where, for that type of process anyway, the old wet palette is quite important. Sorry about that. So here we go. Do a demo here, a bit of wobbly cam. So for example, so what we've got here, if I could show them a bit of my light on that a bit more, make it go yellow. It's a yellowy kind of light. Oh, white, yellow. So actually maybe that's not a good idea. There we go. White's better. Sorry about the wobbly cam. Yeah, so what you can see here is this is the mix of and these are Vallejo colors, basically, mostly, but it's whole red and mixed with, rather than straight up black, you could use black, but I've used German grey, which is a really dark, almost black, like super dark grey. So start with that, mix with your whole red, and you can get whole red from Vallejo, or AK do it as well. And then that's your base, and then you put down some cavalry brown, and you start to add that in to get your layers from your base, and you build it up. And basically, if you're doing a, what do they call it? Oh, you got your bay and your chestnut and all that. Before the last step, and if you're painting the whole horse, like over here, like the mane and the tail and all that's the same color, you'd stop and you wouldn't highlight up the mane and the tail sort of again. You'd stop there like that, and then you'd highlight up the horse. But this one, now he's not, they're not finished yet, but as you can see by all the shiny black stuff. So like I blocked his points, the legs and the nose and the mane and the tail, with German black grey. But then I've just and it's still shiny. Some of the others might not be quite as shiny, I don't know. I just made my own homemade wash to sort of blacken that in a bit better and get into the recess. So I did try using like a P3 armor wash, but it's not as intense. So I just grabbed a bit of black ink, which unfortunately dries a bit glossy, but I added to it like Vallejo Express medium stuff to make it run into the cracks a bit more. And then you can also mix in a bit of matte varnish if you want, but this one obviously is not matted down. But we'll mat it. I'll get it all back to a matte finish later, and basically I'll go back in with black grey and highlight this up so from this really super dark thing, and yeah, give that a bit of highlighting. So yeah, you can see kind of how that process works, like with your, and this is the final highlight that you add in to your mix here. And I've done a similar thing, although not much of it remains, with black mahogany base, although most of it's got all mixed up and there's not much left. And I think that tan yellow is the final thing that goes in to get the highlights for this chappy here. So yeah, any road, just a quick one from me. I have recommended the book before, and I'm just demonstrating that I do actually use it myself, not exclusively, but yeah. And it's handy to have, if you're painting horses using his method, it's handy to have something to keep your paint alive while you're doing it, so you can make your mixes. There's a million and one different ways to paint horses, and this is just one way, and mostly how I do it. And they might not look like much at the moment, but when they're finished and everything's, you know, all the reins and everything are done and everything's tarted up, it all comes together pretty nicely. But yeah, over the back you can see some stuff I'm working on. I've chucked some paint on that's a Wargames Atlantic man-at-arms that I've put together, and started to chuck some paint on the horse, and as I said, base coated some peasant levy dudes at the moment, so they're ready for their wash stage. So there may or may not be a long form video about that process, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video, and bye for now.